Guys, I'm not gonna lie, with all the news coming out about this Paramount merger with Warner Bros., I've been feeling a bit bummed about the future of Hollywood. I mean, we're talking about a historic Hollywood studio with over a century of theatrical releases being sold to tech company billionaires? Like, the more I try to wrap my head around it, I just can't. It's like we're living in a satire of the film industry. Wait a sec. Isn't there a show about this? Even though it came out less than a year ago, The Studio is already one of my favorite shows ever. Not just because it has one of the most stacked TV casts of all time, not just because it's one of the most impressively shot shows I've ever seen, and not just because it had me ugly laughing every episode. Because what makes the show so special is how scarily accurate it feels. And the more you watch it, the less it feels like a comedy, and the more it feels like a documentary about the darker, money-hungry sides of Hollywood. As you probably know since you clicked on this video, The Studio is a Seth Rogen-led comedy series on Apple TV. Rogen plays Matt Remmick, a newly appointed top executive at the historic Continental Film Studios. Now, Matt loves film. Not just big blockbusters though, but the artsy-fartsy true film projects too. So when he comes into his new position with hopes of reprioritizing cinema in Continental's releases, things don't exactly go well for him. Throughout the show, we see corporate greed and a desire for safety over substance take over Remmick's job, making him compromise his morals over and over again. Almost immediately after his promotion, Remmick is forced by Continental CEO to fast-track a movie about Kool Aid. Yeah, like the drink. At first, he tries to stick with his morals and turn Kool Aid into a true film, and somehow lands Martin Scorsese to direct it. The only catch is Scorsese wants to make a sprawling film about the Jonestown Massacre, you know, the one where they you-know-whatted themselves with Kool Aid, and Continental CEO wants a family movie that'll be the next Barbie. Or as he so eloquently puts it,
if Warner Brothers can make $1 billion fucking dollars off the plastic tits of a pussyless doll, we should be able to make $2 billion off the legacy brand of Kool Aid.
That sure sounds familiar, doesn't it? So of course, Scorsese's passion project is killed, and Kool Aid goes to the guy who did Captain Underpants. And, as with all great Hollywood projects, the script goes through multiple rewrites that blow up the budget, so in order to stay on schedule, Remmick has to hire an AI animation company to finish the film.
Like AI artificial?
That sure sounds familiar, doesn't it? I only harp on Kool Aid so much because A, that's totally something that would happen in real life. Like, remember when Hasbro announced a Whack-A-Mole movie? But more importantly, B, it perfectly encapsulates the playbook of a lot of real-world businesses right now. Kill the art, chase brand recognition, and cut costs as much as possible. And here's the scary part about Kool Aid. Even with all their attempts to play it safe, all their attempts to guarantee profits, Continental still ends the season in talks to sell to Amazon.
Amazon?
Yes!
Which is...
technology.
That sure sounds familiar, doesn't it? As you've likely heard by now, Paramount has officially won the months-long bidding war over Warner Bros. After Netflix refused to match their $110 billion offer. Now, someone could look at this and think it's just a typical example of the industry being cutthroat. After all, Warner Bros. Was already acquired by Discovery back in 2022. So, what's the big deal? Well, not only is Discovery not a rivaling movie studio, their whole deal was cable TV before the merger, but Paramount is such a different animal from Discovery, it actually feels like this shit. And their acquisition of WB will have serious industry-wide effects for decades to come. Starting with the big one, after this merger, there won't be that many big Hollywood studios left. Back in the day, there was a group of corporations known as the Big Six that controlled more than 90% of the entertainment world. This group consisted of Disney, Sony, Universal, 20th Century Fox, Warner Brothers, and Paramount. But in recent years, that group has started to shrink at an alarming rate. Disney acquired Fox back in 2018, and now with this Paramount deal, the Big Six suddenly turned into the Big Four in less than a decade. This consolidation leaves filmmakers with fewer places to pitch their projects, and gives the remaining four companies much more control over the entertainment world than they had before. Recent market data shows that Disney currently controls around 27% of the entertainment industry, the most of any corporation. Which makes sense, you know, they have Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar, all of that on top of what they gained from the Fox acquisition. What is alarming now is that after this merger, Paramount, which currently controls a little under 10%, will combine with WB's 21% share to become the largest entertainment corporation in the world. If that fact isn't setting off at least one alarm bell in your head, it should. Besides the obvious fear of one corporation controlling 30% of your entertainment, Paramount's case is particularly alarming because of who controls them. You see, Paramount is primarily owned by these guys, David Ellison and his father Larry. David is the acting CEO, while Larry provides the financial backing as the primary stakeholder. Since their takeover in August of last year, they have announced and released such standout projects as Jackass 5, Rush Hour 4, Meet the Fockers 4, and of course, Melania. See, the Ellisons aren't just big fans of movies with numbers in the title. They're also extremely influential tech billionaires. Larry made his fortune through his company Oracle, which is a data and AI company that stores information for governments and corporations. There's a lot more shady stuff they do that I won't get into today, but just know it's not exactly a mission-driven business. Their model is simple though. Extract as much value from people's data as possible, and move on. No ethics required. Now, if you take that as a blueprint for how they'll run a film studio, you start to see their strategy. Maximize profits and minimize risk. The Ellisons have already gone on record stating they want Paramount to produce more broad-appealing movies, which is just corporate overlord speak for more sequels and franchises and fewer original and artistically driven films. This push has already been reflected in Paramount's offerings over the last few years, but that model becomes very concerning when thinking about what it could do to Warner Bros. Last year, Warner Bros. Released 12 movies in theaters. Of those, 7 made over $100 million, and 3 got Best Picture nominations. In the 100 Million Club, we've got Minecraft, Superman, Sinners, F1, The Conjuring, Weapons, and Final Destination. There's 3 original non-franchise movies there. Films that don't necessarily appeal to everybody, but still films that succeeded because they were focused on good old-fashioned storytelling and not just milking an IP. And the Best Picture nominees, Sinners, F1, and One Battle After Another, are all original movies. Each of these films could be considered risks under Paramount's new mandate, but even still, they were all praised for their originality, still finding success outside of safety. This all goes to show that there is an achievable and very profitable middle ground between franchise blockbusters and passionate original storytelling, and Warner Bros. Had exactly that with their 2025 slate. But now with the Ellison Strategy seemingly steering away from original storytelling, we could see Warner Bros. Original output take a serious blow. In the DC world, we might start seeing less interesting offshoot projects like Clayface and the Mr. Miracle Show, and more focus strictly on characters like Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, characters everybody already knows. In the Harry Potter world, we might start seeing more attempts at spin-offs like the Fantastic Beasts trilogy again, and we'll likely just see a big push towards franchisability for Warner Bros. Overall. While it's all still speculation at this point, I would not be surprised if this is ultimately the situation we're left in. Now back to the studio. How do Paramount's plans for Warner Bros. Mean the show is a documentary and not a comedy? It's because this whole situation is the studio. You can easily compare the strategy of the Ellisons to the strategy Continental tries to take with Kool Aid. Maximize profits, minimize risk. The Ellisons playbook isn't something the show just made up. It's a very real corporate strategy that Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg have experienced countless times. The show simply puts what they've seen happening onto screen. Remmick wants nothing more than to make Scorsese's passion project about Jonestown, but his boss only wants a family fun Kool Aid movie. Yes, it's an objectively funny premise, but it's also a very real one that many studios deal with today. Do you chase the art and make something memorable, or chase the IP and make something that will make money? And more often than not, the IP wins out. And that's exactly what people like the Ellisons want from Hollywood. There's no room for chasing art in a world full of IP, there's no room for Scorsese in a world full of Kool Aid movies, and there's no room for risk when all that matters is reward. What the show illustrates isn't just a surface-level satire, it's genuine documentation, and a warning of what's to come. Because of people like the Ellisons, we may never get another Sinners or One Battle After Another from Warner Bros. Because of that scary fact, it's more important now than ever to support all kinds of movies. Be like Matt Remmick, go to the theaters, seek out the artsy-fartsy projects, and experience more than just the big IP-driven blockbusters. Because soon enough, that might be all you can get. Again, this entire video is just speculation as the deal literally just closed, but I found so many parallels between how the Ellisons run their business and how the studio plays out that I had to put this together. Let me know what you think of the Warner Bros. Paramount deal down in the comments below, and maybe consider subscribing while you're at it. I'm really trying to turn this into a full-time gig, so any support really helps. That's all I have for you today, so as always, stay anti-critical. And thank you, Sal Saperstein!